Greets peeps, this is Tony, the Heart of France. Here, Tony, the hero of Flanders, I think makes more sense at the moment. Last time we had a chat about the awfulness of trade, but hey, it's super important and it makes us some money. So, can't complain too loudly. We've already had a chat about the technology and about institutions. I believe I'm gonna have to go back and have a look. I think I explained institutions. I'm fairly certain I did. And ideas we had a brief look at as well. What? We'll come back to ideas when we've got enough. When we've gone through the game enough to discuss it. In the meantime, we'll leave it. So, let's get on to the fun part of diplomacy, and I love the diplomacy game. This diplomacy game, by contrast to games I've played previously, primarily the civilization games, the diplomacy in this game is wonderful. I absolutely love it. I enjoy the combat in this game, I enjoy the technology in this game, but the diplomacy in this game blows Civ just out of the water. That's the reason why I've barely played Civ since learning about this game and taking the time to learn it. So the diplomacy we'll come into in a minute, but let's for the meantime choose a mission. Our missions are available missions. One of the shortcuts, I'll talk about the shortcuts once we actually begin the game proper, but one of the shortcuts is the missions option. Ideally you want to have a mission ongoing the entire time. To choose the mission that you want, scroll over what they require. Improving our prestige to 50 will be nigh on impossible for us at this moment. We've sunk our prestige through the floor by to increase the papal, clergy and the nobility opinions of us. Actually, them as well. Yeah, that cost 5 prestige. That costs 5 prestige. And that costs 5 prestige. So that's why we're at -7 at the moment. Our chances of recovering that to 50 to get 100 admin points, that's a great reward. But getting 50 prestige will take us a long time. Let's keep an eye on it. It's 1444 now. Someone yell out, I'll send you a magic prize if you yell out when we hit 50 prestige, because that will take some time. So we won't be choosing that. What we want to do with our missions is we want to keep them ticking over. We want to keep doing things that we can do regularly. We want to keep getting free, in air quotations, bonuses as often as we can. And conquering Liège, let's have a quick look at that. Liège is our neighbour. This would be a great thing to conquer. It would sort of join up our land. It's joined up to our lands. They're oh no, they're not our same. Oh yeah, they are. They're Wallonian. That's what we like. We like Wallonian. One of them is Flemish. That one's Wallonian. That'd be cool. Let's have a look. If we declare war on Liège, Austria will jump into the war. The reason they'll accept is the enemy ally Austria I think it explains it. Okay, there we go. So Liège is part of the empire and Austria is the emperor. It's a defensive war, so they're much more likely to attack to help defend their ally in that calculation area. Austria like us, so they're less likely to attack us, but if we attack their buddy, they're definitely going to curb stomp us. Austria, at this point in the game, would just annihilate us. I would show you how badly, but that's part of another video. So the only option we've got left is solidifying our papal relations. To do that, we need to increase the papal states' opinion of us to 100, and we will get yearly papal influence when that happens. Actually, that's a good way of reminding us to discuss the papacy. So our mission is explained here. Our relations with the Pope aren't that flash. They've got power, and we should look after them, and we should be matey with them. Yeah, that's right. So, there's a storyline reason of why we should do this. So, our objective is to increase the papacy's opinion, the papal state's opinion of Burgundy, and we get free papal influence. So, to increase someone's opinion of us, there's a couple of ways to do it. Find where they live on the map and click it, or hang on, I was going to do it another way, and oh wow, that's part of another add-on, another DLC as well. Okay, so I've turned off another DLC which allows me to do extra things in this game. Boy, this will be different. So we scroll over here, we click on the papacy, we go to diplomacy, and within the, I did that very quickly, didn't I? Click on the nation, click on diplomacy, it pops up the diplomacy tab. Within here there's all sorts of options which I always leave open, and I'm confused why they're closed. So there's all sorts of options in here. This is why the diplomacy game is so good. There's nothing like this in the and I want to stop bashing Civ. I love Civ. Civ is an amazing game. I will never ever not love Civ. Well, God, that's not true. I will never ever not love Civ 4. But I've barely played it since I've gone to this game, because this game is so much more. Everything is so much more involved. You're so much more hands-on. You control everything. They're chalk and cheese to an extent, but this game is by far better suited to me. There we go, that's how we'll say it. Right, so when we came over to, we clicked on the Papal States, we opened up the diplomacy menu. There's all sorts of different options in here, but the one that we want to do is we want to improve relations. We click on that. Do you wish to send our diplomat to improve relations with the Papal State? Once he's there, it'll improve every month. Neutral relations are easier to change. So let's confirm that. Now, what we can see is this chappie here, one of our 2 diplomats, is working to improve relations in Roma, and has been doing it for 0 days. Each month, our relation with the Papal States has been improved by +3. I think each month it increases by 3. Oh, I can't remember. Something like that. By about 3. So that will take a bunch of months to increase from +25 up to +100. But hey, that's good. We don't need to do anything else with our diplomat other than leave him there. And in the meantime, and slowly it will tick up to 100. This mission will be complete, and we'll get free papal influence. We'll come to the papacy when that ticks around. But in the meantime, we've got a spare diplomat. There's lots of different options in here. What you will have noticed is I had a pop-up appear before that offered a royal marriage with Brittany before. When we accepted the royal marriage, their opinion of us increased, and a bunch of other stuff happened in the background, which is advanced diplomacy class, let's say. What we should do, though, is because we want to keep on good terms with all of our vassals, we can go through and offer to marry. Actually, no, we can't. We can't offer to marry junior partners. We we have become the sorry, they're not our junior partner. They're our junior partner. Um, we can't offer to marry these guys because by when they became our junior partner, it was through marriage. Someone married into our line and then died, and we kind of inherited their countries. Um, we've become their de facto monarch, would be the best way to say it, I guess. Um, so we can't actually do royal marriages with them, but we can with a standard vassal. Now, vassals are usually acquired by a war, but sometimes you can acquire vassals diplomatically as well. If it's a small nation and you're powerful, they will sometimes let, uh, they will sometimes allow you to offer them vassalization and accept it. What to make a vassalization happen, you need to be allied first, and they need to have a super high opinion of you. They need to have an opinion of you of at least 190, which only happens once you're allied, married, and you've done other stuff to increase their opinion of you. That'll be part of the advanced diplomacy that we'll get into later. In the meantime, though, what we can do, we want to push Nevers up towards that 190, because at that point, this existing vassal will be able to annex them. We can't do that for another 9 years. There's a 10-year, you must have a vassal for 10 years before you can annex them. When you annex them, it costs you a certain amount of diplomacy. As we can see there, 240 diplomacy points will be spent at a rate of at the rate of your diplomatic reputation, which is again an advanced diplomacy kind of a thing. But just be aware that with their 240, they meld into our realm. They become part. They become forever a part of us, and I think their cores disappear, but I'm not certain on that. Coring is something that we'll talk about later, which will confuse things. Which will. Oh God. Okay. Shivers. So we were discussing Nevers. We haven't got a marriage with them. Let's get a royal marriage with them. Having 2 royal marriages increases our legitimacy per year, increases our relations with that person, and increases the chance that we'll have a new heir. Let's do that. Cool. The next day, they accept. Our relations have improved. So they were at 100 before, now they're at 115, if I recall. Maybe, no, they were at 90. There we go, same religion, royal marriages plus 25. Great. So, that's happened. There's now a cooldown of 1 month before we can do another diplomatic mission with them. So, let's look further afield. We've got we can't royal marriage those guys. Actually, we've only got the one vassal, and we've married them. We had the ally, we married them. What else can our diplomat do? There's lots and lots of different diplomatic options in this game. There's alliances to make and royal marriages to make. Where do we start? The best idea that I can think of, they're royal marriage and allied. Okay. What we could do in the short term is try to get France on side. The diplomacy game, the diplomacy part of this game is governed by a number of things. It's governed by whether they like you, whether you like them, whether uh, whether their rivals like you, or your relations are good with their rivals, or whether you dislike their rivals, um, whether there's royal marriages, whether you've got territory they want, all sorts of things. There's lots and lots of different modifiers. So let's have a look at France. We'll have a look at France's opinion of us, our opinion of France. So they're the same religion as us, but we've got close borders. There's border friction. That will usually mean that one of our states, has France in it. So the reason we don't like them is because the state of Picardy traditionally had Vermandois as part of the state, and so this state doesn't work near as well as it would as if we had Vermandois. We would get the state income would increase, but for a nominal amount of money we would get whatever their income is. We would get 53.53 ducats, and we'd get that trade power and that manpower. So in an ideal world we'd have Vermandois as well. Let's have a look at this state. Oh, that is Picardy. So at this state, Nevers owns Rethel. Our opinion of Nevers will be slightly diminished because they're a vassal. We don't have that same lower opinion of them. We don't have that same Negus 2 opinion, so we're just their buddies. Let's have a look at France's opinion of us. When we scroll over them, actually before we even scroll over them, we can have a look at what our attitude to them is friendly, their attitude towards us is hostile. We can change our attitude to them. We won't for the moment. We'll come to that shortly. Let's examine the rest of this. Their opinion of us is okay because we've got the same religion, but there's border friction. They've got that same border friction that we have because we own the rest of states that they want, and for that reason they want a lot of our states. They want almost everything, and they want our subjects provinces as well. So they want that. In fact, let's do it the easy way. If we click on there, we can see that France effectively want all of us and all of our client states, and are interested in our allies as well. So France are, without a doubt, our major concern right now. There's two ways to go with this. We can try to get on their good side, or we can try to get allies. We can try to become allies with their rivals. This is something of a coin toss at the moment. England are useless. They own French lands. They're heavily naval. They're usually busy fighting with Scotland and whoever the hell else they decide to fight with, and they almost never bring their troops across the sea. I believe there was modifications to the AI to increase AI likelihood of crossing seas with armies, but they are not a good enough ally for us in this situation. We need to do better than that. So we can look at Austria, and straight up Austria would offer us an alliance. That's tempting, and we like them, and we have long-term ambitions focused into the HRE. I'm tempted, you know? I am genuinely tempted. Hmm. Okay, we want to join the HRE. Let's do this. By doing this, we're going to instantly get on France's death list. Their opinion of us will plummet. Because we are... Oops, that wasn't paused. Because we are now allied to their rival. But we want to get... Well, we need protection from France. They were going to come for us regardless. I don't know that that's true. I think we may have been able to work our way back into their good graces, but I think it unlikely. So we're safer going back this way. What I want to do most of all, though, is to join the Holy Roman Empire. To do that, as you saw me looking over here, we need to do some work. Our nation is too large to join the empire at the moment. Now, that can be circumvented. We need to get our relations to 261, which we can't. That 261 is premised on our, if I recall correctly, it's been a long time since I've done this. In fact, I think I've only ever done it once, and it took a whole bunch of finagling. Oh, that's an interesting point. We're now only getting 7 income, 7 diplomacy points, because we've gone over our number of diplomatic relations. How we fix that, I don't know. We definitely need Austria and their super army of 37. We definitely need Brittany, because Brittany and I share the threat, share the menace of France. They're the junior. Lorraine's the junior partner of Florence, of Provence. Provence is also a tempting option for. Oh, they're rivals with my ally. Okay, so Provence don't like Brittany, and therefore they'll never. It'll be very hard to get to ally us anyway. It's probably not worth it working with them. What we will look to do is once we've minimised the threat of France, then maybe we'll look to work with Provence. But in the meantime, our primary focus has got to be getting into the Empire. To do that, we need... To do that, we need 261 opinion from Austria. At the moment it's 96, and we are going to increase it by doing all number of things, primarily improving, because... Oh, we're not... Okay, we don't do that. Another way to increase their opinion of us would be to send a gift. We could do the same to France if we wanted to keep them off our back. But... Have they got any Casus Belli on us? No, they don't. They should be... I think they'll focus on England first anyway. That's typically what they'll do. They've got reason to focus on Britain. So let's hope that that's what they do. We're actually quite tough as well. When allied with Austria, Austria can freely move through the Holy Roman Empire, by the way. The Emperor can happily move through the Empire. So that 37 troops, 40 troops, and then all of these guys, 49, 56, 62, no, not them, 50, oh God, I don't know, but lots of troops all working together to block the French. I think we're probably safe. We don't need to worry about France too much now. So what we do need to, what we should do though, is put that free diplomat to improving them, but again we've got that 1 month cooldown. So what we're going to do instead is click on this tab, which shows us our vassals. They're all fairly happy with us. They've got reasonably high liberty desire. Once their liberty desire hits 50, they will stop providing you troops, stop providing you, stop paying you money. Actually, they don't send money to us at the moment, do they? Because they're being a junior partner, they don't actually give us money. They keep their own accounts. There's options to change that. We can take half of their yearly income. 40 per year is, come on brain, 40 per year is three something a month. No, 2.8 a month. We'd get half of that. Hang on, let's make it easier. Cut it in half. That's 20. Cut that by, divide that by 12. 20 is, yeah, we'd get about 0.4. It is not worth it. 0.3 even. Definitely not worth it, because they will dislike us a lot and their liberty desire will go up. Though, what about them? They're 20, they're 30. If I did it to all of them, we've got 50 years before we can annex these clowns. Integrate these clowns, rather. I'm slightly tempted to do this. Who's the smallest one? With the, I've never actually used the siphon income. I'd rather have their armies definitely on side with me. But actually that's a point too. What I could do, what I was thinking about doing, is granting provinces to some of these guys, because that will make it easier for us to enter the Holy Roman Empire. If I were to give, I see. If I dropped those two, that will take my total down to, I'm sorely tempted. This is a dangerous move, but I'm sorely tempted to do this. Brabant, are they one of my, yep, where are they? Oh, they're there. I'm tempted to give Luxembourg to Brabant, to give Hainaut and Namur to Flanders. I think that would make it enough. Let's have a look. Let's go back and check this out. Sorry, this is getting a lot more advanced than I was planning to. This was going to be a nice simple thing, but let's forge on. We're only 96, we're 261. What's our total thingy my bob? Our total development, where is it? We have 147. 147, how does that correspond to 261? 261. Let's try it, there's no harm. Well, yes there is, we lose our provinces, but hey, whatever. 261. Let's remember this. Let's grant Luxembourg to, oh my god, Brabant is that one, yes. We'll grant Luxembourg to Brabant. Oh, poop. Because they're not connected to it, I can't give it to them. Okay. In that case, what about this one? We could grant it to these guys. We're going to be annexing these guys in the very near future anyway. It will increase the cost to annex, but let's do it. Okay, so by doing this, it will make the clergy unhappy with us because it belongs to the clergy. I was hoping that that would actually be circumvented, but sadly the developers clued on to my sneaky. That one I'd really like to give away as well. I might give that to Nevers instead, actually. Yeah. Right, so we've managed to get that by doing that. We've managed to get the threat of a rebellion, of a coup, reduced. I didn't actually explain those, did I? I might do that as part of the military description. So we've managed to get those down under control now. The nobility are unhappy because they're because I gave their land away, but their influence is now low enough that we can control them, and that will slowly creep back up to 50, so that's fine. In the meantime we've got slower land recovery and more expensive units, but hey, whatever's. Now we've reduced our total size by 17, 14, 31. Let's see now. Your nation is simply too large to join the HRE. I've got a feeling that the game knows that this is a bit gamey. I don't think it's gamey. I mean, I realise that I'm still under control of them, but I thought it would make sense. So all four of those are... That's right, I'm going to give this to Flanders. Flanders can have Hainaut. The bourgeois won't like me, but they'll get over it. But because I've reduced the amount of total land that I have, I've also reduced the amount of land. I've increased the percentage of... That's gone up. Oh my god. This was not my finest idea. Somehow, my willingness to join the Empire has gone up. I am confused by that, but hey, okay. Maybe it was the percentage of HRE lands I control. Maybe it would have been better to give these away. Curses. Oh well, that's just one for the books. Good, but no big deal. We are, oops, we can't improve there, and we've got 1 month of diplomacy. So diplomatic actions tick over at the end of the month. So what we'll do is we will, I wanted to enforce culture on them actually. Oh, we can work that out later. What's their core? Flemish. Whereas those guys are Flemish as well. That's alright. We'll actually there's a couple of different things we could do here. But what's their core culture? Their core culture is Burgundian, that's cool. So at least they'll do some work for us. Yeah, they'll likely change their cultures in those to to Burgundian, and then maybe we'll just change to all Burgundian. We'll see how we go in the future. But in the meantime, we've got stuff going on. God, I've got to repeal that. That's not ideal. I've got to repeal one of those. I've got to repeal that with my army on top of it. How many will appear? Revoking it will... Yeah, okay. What we'll do is we'll let this disaster run for a while. I don't think we're going to be joining the HRE anytime soon. So, in the meantime, we've reduced our income and, I don't know, caused ourselves a whole bunch of trouble. This is going most interestingly. We'll continue with diplomacy in the next one. I'll give you a run through of all of the various options that we've got. But that will take a while because there's so much cool diplomacy in this game. Talk to you soon, and thanks for watching.